clue, my name is Matt, and you are the ones who have yet to catch the plague. You get to catch the plague. I literally have so many text messages of, I have the plague and I'm not coming tonight. So I'm glad that they're not here.
Is it the Black Plague? Is it back again?
It's the Black Plague.
Ah, God dang
The
it.
scourge of the Dark Ages.
Now we got the
Black Plague tonight.
Ah.
So hopefully no one here has even a lick of that, and we all remain healthy for the rest of our lives. Any jokes anytime?
Is that serious?
Any joke? Okay, everybody, find a seat for your bottom while we go through some announcements real quickly. Oh no, my Christmas tree broke. Don't you worry, Tommy.
Oh, Joe.
And you were like, dang, what happened?
Don't go, oh,
All right, everybody, here we go. Here's some announcements. Just like every week, I know you guys already have your planners out and you've got a pen ready. You've tested the pen to make sure it works so that you can write down all of this important information. Let's get to it. All right. We literally have 4 tickets left for The Force Awakens, which is in like 8 days, 9 days. Till Star Wars Day, guys. 9 days till Star Wars. There's only one Friday between now and Star Wars Day.
I signed up months ago.
So if you want to go, sign up, youth at svpc.us. We got 15 tickets are $15. It's going to be fun. I think, how many do you think we currently have signed up?
Like 35.
Million and
35 and 40 people going to this thing.
Million.
So it's going to be a lot of fun. Hope you'll be there. Awesome. What else we got here, Mark? Yes, Cornelia the pig. She's over there. Everybody.
Behind the red
Oh, yeah.
I only got 2.
I have good news, everyone. My 10-year-old niece, Mackenzie, won the spelling bee at her school from 36 graders. She is a genius, and when I went home for Thanksgiving, she crushed me repeatedly at Connect 4. She's literally unbeatable at Connect 4. It was somewhat shameful, but I felt better because she also crushed my wife a number of times. Katie has a PhD, so I don't feel that bad. But my niece Mackenzie, I told her all about our purple pig, Cornelia, and she sent these quarters, my friends. These quarters right here. Here's what we do with Cornelia.
It sounds empty.
I know, it sounds empty, so I want you guys to work on that. Cornelia is the way that we help the dudes who are in the rotating shelter that we host in November and December. The rotating shelter is a place where 15 to 20 dudes who were previously homeless enter the program. They have a permanent address, they get all kinds of help, and helps them get back into permanent housing, and has a fantastic success rate, which is kind of rare. So, they have to do their own laundry at a laundromat, and it's super expensive. So I need you people to bring quarters and fill this up so it's not just Mackenzie's quarters and Kurt's quarters that are in there. So next week, when we have our Christmas party, our White Elephant Gift Exchange Christmas party, bring some quarters for Cornelia. What else do we have? Mark! Yes, confirmation. If you are 8th graders involved in confirmation, I'm just so excited for you people. It's going to be super awesome. You three, Claire, J-Dog, yes, Nick.
Huh? I'm not doing it.
I know.
I just raised my hand. I like raising my
Lord
hand.
bless you.
Confirmation.
All right, my friends, a couple of important confirmation announcements.
Never be confirmed.
Not this Sunday, but the next Sunday is when our reception brunch is. Super important that you're there promptly at 8:45.
That's my birthday.
This is the no way.
That's great. No, that's why we planned it.
Happy
12:20 is your
birthday.
birthday?
Yeah, that's why it's on that day.
Confirmation is the way that people in our youth ministry can become members. What's awesome about being a member is that annually you get to vote whether the church retains me as an employee. So now that you become a member, you can have me fired, kiddo.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
part of your long con to get rid of me. It's gonna work.
It's all
All right,
part of the
if you
plan.
are, if you're working on confirmation and you have remaining experiment assignments to do, you can finish them all between now and then. Turn them in to me or through the email. And there's no flash AM that morning because we will be in the 10 a.m. service. It'll be awesome. Okay, Mark. Yes, Christmas Eve sign up. Okay. All right, my friends, if you are in Clue, we are, I don't want to say desperate, I want to say somewhat desperate for your help on Christmas Eve. So if you are willing, yeah, 5 o'clock. It's good. Yes, Nick. And Libby.
Am I allowed to do it?
No.
No,
Whoa,
that's ages. It's ages.
Marina, just set it
Last year?
and
No.
you don't.
she'll walk you through.
You're not even allowed to do something.
Awesome. Yeah. Okay. Shh. There are a couple questions. Now I need to answer them. Check.
When are you gonna like text and email us like info about the like practice times and such?
Yeah. Great question. Tomorrow.
Tomorrow?
Okay.
It's actually today at 12 o'clock.
Yeah. The practice is tonight at midnight. Just kidding.
Yeah.
Just kidding. Yeah. Bring it.
So mine has something to do with that. Like, when are the practice days? My sister was curious.
There's gonna be one practice on December 20th
December 20th.
on a Sunday afternoon,
Sunday afternoon.
1 p.m.
1 p.m.
All right. So this is the first time of the year you can earn caravan hours. I hope you'll all do it. All right. What we got, Buck? All right. Further on out, my friends. Clue laser tag, January 15th. It's gonna be great. 3 days before Drew's birthday. So everybody who has their planner out, they're writing down all this information. Now's your chance to record that Drew's birthday is January
Everyone make sure to plug
12th.
him.
18. Wrong direction. Okay. I'm also terrible at driving because I confuse forward and reverse. Great, that's going to be super fun. Make sure you RSVP. What else do we have, Mark? All right, everybody. Shh. Here are all the important dates for Christmas. Starting tonight, December 9th, our Star Wars Flash and Clue. Next week, my friends, next week, for both Flash and Clue, White Elephant gift exchange. Gifts $10 and under, not to exceed $10 in value, whether actual monetary value or sentimental value, not to exceed $10. Make sure you're here. Feel free to wear a sweater or perhaps festive socks. It's going to be super fun, and everything will be at the same time that it normally is. It'll be really good. And guys, we've already began to decorate in here. I was the personal creative director of that Christmas tree, and I feel like it turned out pretty good.
It needs a star on the top.
It looks beautiful, Matt.
You know what? I'm gonna come to your house and criticize your Christmas tree. Unless you want that. Awesome. So next week is our gift exchange. If you forget and show up without a gift, or if you want to bring a friend and they don't have a gift, we have plenty of terrible gifts that they can put their name on and give away. It will be awesome. I already ordered my hit gift from last year. You can ask Laura Sire about it. That was an excellent experiment, I think, for both festivity and science. It was great. Yeah, Ocho, what's up?
Have you started eating butter to become a human white elephant?
Yes, I've already, starting at Thanksgiving, I've tried to gain enough weight to be the human white elephant.
Okay.
Yeah, that's good.
And then you can give yourself away.
And then I will give myself away. I will slither from one of the larger boxes. Picked it up. And be like, gross, I'm never coming back. Cool. Yeah, Brennan Q.
Okay, so, is, Christmas party the same time as, like,
Yeah.
normal?
Everything's normal times.
And I have another question.
Yeah, Brennan Q.
Can you recap the times of the laser tag and the time of the Christmas Eve candlelighting practice thing?
Christmas Eve candlelighting practice is December 20th at 1 p.m.
Okay, hold on.
Laser tag is January 15th, 7 to 8:30 p.m.
Hold on. $12.15,
Next announcement.
$15,
Keep going. Keep it going.
7 to 8:30.
So, next week, very exciting week. Christmas gift exchange. I'll be a white elephant. December 18th, The Force Awakens is going to be just an epic day, I think, in human history all around. The 23 and 30th, no flash or clue. I'll miss you. Very sad.
Matt, you disappoint me.
Then January 3rd, the last day of break, Youth and Families Winter Party, January 3rd, 6:30 p.m. Everyone, right back here in this building. Last thing of break. The food will be good. The theme is awesome. It's gonna be a great time.
What is day
Is the
theme?
theme awesome or is the theme awesome?
Yeah, the theme is not awesome, but it is awesome. Did
So it's
that
like
clear it up?
sort of.
Okay, Shay Shay.
Will we pay you now for laser tag, or we can pay you there?
Either way, whatever you want to do. Oh, cool. If you want to pay me $1 every third day between now and then, that would suck. Great. What else you got, Mark? Great. Okay. Again, further on out, at the end of January, everybody's invited to this awesome lock-in right here, all night. It's a hit. It's been super fun each time we've done it. Flash and Clue right here, all Presbyterian lock-in. We're inviting all the Presbyterian churches from our area. I don't know if they'll come. Yes. Just for you. It's going to be a special night, all of that, for a number of reasons. One of the important reasons is that our 1 a.m. soccer game, our annual 1 a.m. soccer game is on. It's so good.
Yeah.
So I'll see you there. I'll see you there.
I feel like
It's
people
going to be
are getting
$10 this time, which is a small fee. And if you need a scholarship, I can hook that
Wait,
up.
how much money?
$10.
$10.
So start saving now.
Start saving now.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, what else we got here? Great. Finally, prayer requests. I know that some of you guys are going through things that maybe you do not want to talk about here or with anyone. We've got an excellent way of dealing with that sort of thing. You can fill out a prayer request card. They're right back there next to the red box. It's great because you can fill it out anonymously, or you can say that you only want me and Kurt to see, or other limited options on there, and we will be praying for you guys. We've had a lot of good ones. I really appreciate the people who have used that box. We've been praying for you guys. It's been pretty cool. So make sure you use a prayer request. Anything else? T-shirts, yes. Fire sale, which we discussed at length last week.
We're gonna burn them.
Means if we don't sell them, we will burn them. So it's kind of win-win.
Or when you sell them, they're on fire.
Or when we sell it to you, it's already on fire.
That's why it costs like
That's why the price is discounted. You won't ever get to wear the shirt, but it is exciting. Yeah, all right, cool. Anything else? Excellent. All right, I'm going to invite your friend and mine, Kurt Miller, to come pray for us.
All right, guys, let's pray. Jesus, thank you so much for this awesome group of people here. I pray that as we begin worship here, that we will just give these songs to you, and that we will find a new way to love you even more, and find new ways to realize the awesome ways that you love us. Jesus, it is because of your love that we want to just relentlessly trust you. And it's in your name. Amen.
Amen.
All right, my friends, stand up if you will.
Darude sandstorm. Then people said almonds. Almonds. Almonds are almonds. No, they're almonds. Yes. Not almonds. Almonds are almonds. Almonds are almonds. The man said almonds.
All right, my friends, you ready? Prepare your hands.
They're gone. In your hat.
Thank you.
just been loving thinking about Advent with you all. Advent is this time where we anticipate, we wait on God to show up in our lives. And as we think about waiting on God, it prepares our hearts to have this experience on Christmas as we celebrate the birth of Jesus and the incarnation. The story of Jesus being born is the story of God taking on human flesh. And it's a promise. This story is a promise to you that God will intervene when you let him. And one way that we talk about that is we talk about Christmas, the coming of Jesus, as being the light in the darkness, the light in the darkness. And there's two ways to pray about the light in the darkness. We can pray a prayer of thanksgiving that we're so thankful that God showed up in our lives. We're so thankful that the light came to us, that our lives were darkened. Light showed up in Jesus. That's one way to pray. Or we can pray this other prayer where we're still in the darkness and we feel like, will the light ever come? And we can pray this kind of demanding prayer. The Bible lets us pray these demanding prayers. God invites us to interact with him as friends, to treat him like he's our Father. And so we can say, God, my whole life is dark. I need your light. And so we can pray this prayer of thanksgiving that God has come to us in Jesus and lightened up our life. Or we can pray this prayer of desperation. God, we need you. And so as we sing this next song, focus in on what God is doing in your life and which of these prayers that you want to pray as we think about light in the darkness.
we just want to give that up to you, God. We come to you with heavy hearts, and we just want to lift those up to you so that you can make them whole again and just fill your presence within us. And I just pray that as we continue on this next week and we go into the Advent season, that we could just be full of such joy in welcoming your birth to the world. And we just love you so much, Jesus. Amen. I'm forgiven.
the good and the bad. All the things that we are proud of and all the things that we are ashamed of, God, we know that you are at work in them. That in the places where we feel like we are dying, where we can name things that are killing us, we know that because you died and rose again, we can rise again too. That you have for us new life, that is the reward for making you the King of our souls. This new strange kind of life full of joy and peace. And so as one big group, as Flash and as Clue, we give our lives to you. Amen. All right, my friends, if you are in middle school, if you're in Flash, go with Kurt Miller. What? Oh, go with me. If you're in Clue, stay here and hug somebody. Ready to go. Maybe 2,000 degrees. It's only 74. I thought Laura was going to die from these
No, she's from Fremont?
Yeah.
She's a senior. No, she was a senior last year.
No?
There's a different one then. So, no, she's like brunette. So hot, dude. I'll show you a picture. Let me find it.
Alright, I'll be right back. If you guys sit there, you have to like the seat. What is that like? If you guys sit there, it's with the seater. It's like funny. You have to the seater. See? I told you, it's my seat. It's like I planned that months ago, just waiting for the right opportunity. They may sit on my back. They're doing this like for a while. No, seriously. Just in case I was like, so don't feel like it's like
go for it because I like it. Except there was just one
Alright, so before we turn all these lights on, I'm going to introduce to you the clip that we're going to be basing tonight off of, and that clip is Luke Skywalker. You guys know who
I am your father.
Mark Hamill, normal guy. Alright, so Luke Skywalker flies after the defeat of the first Death Star. He then gets told by Obi-Wan's ghost to fly to a planet. I know you hate it, just bear with me. To fly to a planet where he's going to meet the greatest Jedi Master ever, and that Jedi Master is, of course,
Yoda.
Yoda, thank you. Those who watched it. Come on, guys. And there he is training with Yoda, and this is during the training scene, so pay attention to the question that Luke asks and the answer that Yoda gives at the end. Yes. Ninja Warrior.
Yes, Jedi strength flows from the Force. But beware of the dark side. Anger, fear, aggression. The dark side of the Force are they. Easily they flow, ready to join you in a fight. If folks should start down the dark path, forever will dominate your destiny. Consume you it will. They Obi-Wan's apprentice.
Vader, is the dark side stronger?
No. Is your motion acting?
But how am I to know the good side from the bad?
You will know when you are calm, at peace.
All right. Yeah. All right, for those of you that could not understand what Yoda was saying, as I did, we have a slide for that. Here's the next one. All right, so Yoda, while they're running around, says, beware the dark side. Yes, I did type this out myself. Anger, fear, aggression, the dark side of the Force are they. Easier they flow. If once you start down that path, forever it will dominate your destiny. It will consume you, or consume you it will. As it did Obi-Wan's apprentice, which Luke astutely calls Vader.
Vader, and then he asks, is the dark side stronger? And Yoda says no, but it is quicker, easier, and more seductive. And then Luke asks, but how am I going to know the difference between good and bad? And Yoda says, you will know when you are calm and when you are at peace. And so this is from the Book of Yoda, chapter 1, I believe it is in there. And what's interesting is that Yoda says exactly what we want him to say and exactly what we don't want him to say at the exact same time. And that is, when we as Luke, ask him, but is the dark side stronger? He says no. And we're like, oh, good. That makes things a lot easier. The dark side is not stronger, we'll be okay. And then he says, but it is quicker and it is easier and it will draw you in. And then we're like, well, shoot. And it kind of begs this question of why can't sin just be something that we just don't want to do? Wouldn't that be a lot easier? What if sin was horrible and we hated it? And we're like, you lying? I don't ever want to do that. That's boring. But I would say that as human beings, we can all attest to the draw and the allure of the dark side or of sin and what that looks like. We can all agree that there are times that doing the wrong thing is much easier than doing the right thing. Right? Yeah? Everyone agrees with that? Right? If anyone doesn't, tell me how you do it, because that's amazing. And last year I talked about this thing, about these moments that I like to call he touched the butt. Are any of you guys here during that one? Yeah. And it comes from that scene in Finding Nemo, where Nemo's dad, what's his name?
Marlin.
Wow. I've never, Yoda. I've never, yeah, wow, that was angry. And Marlin is like, Nemo, don't touch the boat, don't do that. And he like swims out there with his one fin, and he just goes, like hits it. And then these guys, that guy on the far right there, whispers, he touched the butt. And those moments, these are the moments of the things that we know we're told, don't do them. Just don't. Like, don't do this, that. And we're like, yeah, but I'm going to do it anyway. And these are the he touched the butt moments. And why is it that even when we know that we're wrong, we still do it, and sometimes we even like it? Sometimes it's much easier just to lie. Like when you come home a little bit late, mom's like, where were you? And you're like, Safeway. See, it's much easier than being like, insert bad thing. It's a lot easier. And that is the power of sin. It is alluring. It draws you in. It tells you that it is safe. It tells you to run away from these things that that cause us fear and doubt. And it's like the scene in Aladdin. You guys know that movie too? I know we're like jumping like movies here, but it's okay. It'll all make sense. In Aladdin, when they're in the Cave of Wonders, when they're in the Cave of Wonders, you know the like big lion thing that's like, don't touch the lamp, and they're like, yeah, that's a tiger. Lions are a form of tiger. They're like brothers and sisters. And the big tiger thing that comes out of the sand that opens up into the Cave of Wonders, it's one direction, is like, don't touch anything but the lamp. And they walk down this big winding path, Aladdin and his monkey pal Abu. Look how cute it is. Abu. And they're like walking through the Cave of Wonders, and there's like gold and like treasure and like wands all over the place. And they get all the way to the end with the help of this magic carpet that Flash pointed out to me that the reason they could touch the magic carpet was because it touched them first. Is that true?
Yes,
No
it
idea.
is.
Is that always wondered why people
anything
touch
to
the
the
carpet
space in between
and
items.
nothing else? That's weird. But anyway, so the carpet touches them first, and they get all the way to the end, and there's this like light in the ceiling that's shining down on the magic lamp, and as our hero Aladdin is climbing up the stairs, the anti-hero Abu here sees that red shiny jewel, and he becomes enamored. I know he's cute, but he screwed up a lot of things, and so his eyes begin to look like that, and that's the only thing that he wants, which is crazy. If anyone else's eyes like lit up a little like that, if anyone else's eyes looked like what they wanted, it's super weird. We don't have like giant like stacks of money. Just kidding. And he touches it, and he reaches up, and he grabs it, and then what's really interesting about the moment that he grabs it is that it turns into sand. Right? He grabs it, and he's like, this is what I wanted. And when he grabs it, he goes, oh. And then, I was practicing that for a while. And it crumbles in his hands, and it becomes this sand. And then the stairs that Aladdin is on turns into like a slide. He has a good time going down it, and then they eventually get caught inside this Cave of Wonders, and like an hour of movie happens, then it ends. But anyway, this is what we're talking about here, though, is that this is what sin is like. You can be told, don't touch that ruby, and Abu is like, I'm going to touch that ruby. Sin is designed to draw us in. It is designed to call us in, like a moth to a light. We're just drawn to that kind of thing because it's quicker and it's easier and it's more seductive. It is hard because God wants us to lean on Him. He wants us to be focused on Him, despite the allure of the gems, of the rubies, of the other touch the butt moments. He wants us to be focused on Him. Just like the next scene after the one that we just watched, which I'm not going to show, but I'm going to explain it, is Luke has this vision where he goes into this cave, and then Vader comes out of nowhere. And when you're watching the movie for the first time, because you're 8, you're like, oh shoot, it's like the end of the movie. Like, they're both here. And they have this battle, this duel, and Luke ends up cutting off his head. And then you're like, phew, it's over. Vader's gone. I'm going to bed. And the head like rolls towards Luke, and then the head mask of Vader's that explodes, and then you can look in it, and it's Luke's face. And you're like, ooh, yeah, right? And the point of this is that if Luke continues down this path of anger, of fear, of trying to do it all on his own, he will fall to the same fate that Vader also fell into. And so you see, Star Wars is quite profound. You should all watch it. But we can all fall into this trap of the dark side. The dark side is the thing that tells us to run away from our problems. It is a voice that tells us to make fun of people to fit in. Because I want you to like me, I'm going to make fun of them, I'm going to push them down, I'm going to step on them, I'm going to get higher. It's that voice that makes us want to take the easy way out. And it is this dark side that gives us this odd sense of comfort. After I graduated college, I got a job working with the Department of Child Services in Indianapolis. I hated that job. When I had gotten fired to that job due to another story for another time, I started working at a bar, and because it was easy. So I was a bartender, it was easy, I could just talk to people all day, low work, low responsibility, pretty easy money, and I fell into some pretty not good habits while I was doing that. There was a lot of, hung out with a lot of the wrong people, drank a ton, played video games a lot, which was super fun, but awful. And I chose to exile myself from this responsibility that I knew that I had to be a Jesus-loving human being, to be a light in the darkness to people, and instead I had holed myself up into this cave of darkness. I like wandered in it, and I was curled up in there. And I chose to lie with exile and depression and alcohol and the wrong people and just loathing, just that deep loathing of who I was. And what's hard is that when you're at your worst, and you're down and you're lying on the ground, or you're just totally lost and you don't know what's next, you tend to reach for the closest thing. Not literally, but you choose the last thing that gave you the largest amount of joy. And you tend to go towards these different dark aspects of our life. And you go towards bad friends, towards partying, towards alcohol, towards drugs, tobacco, depression, exile, whatever it may be. You choose to hide with those kinds of things, because I pushed Jesus so far away at that time. I wanted to be as lonely as I possibly could. I wanted to dwell on my own failures as the person that I knew God wanted me to be, but instead I just ran the other way. I ran really far. It sucked. Eventually I ran out of money and couldn't pay rent, so I moved home to my mom. I was like 24, and which is a little rough, being a 24-year-old guy living in your mom's basement, literally. So I worked a bunch of really odd jobs. I worked in a factory. I worked at another bar, and the same self-destructive behaviors just kept happening. I would drink all the time, hang out with the wrong people, almost every day. And I got to this point probably about 2.5 years ago that I was out to eat with my friend, and I was telling him all of these things about my life, and I was like, I'm depressed, I'm lonely, I don't know what to do, I hate my job, I hate where I'm living, I love my mom, but like I don't want to live there, I don't have any money, and I've got like $12,000 of debt because of school, because my dad told me that he would pay it, but then he didn't, so I got all these loans because I had to. And I just had all this hurt and all this anger and all this betrayal deep in me. And he told me that I was much more than that. He told me I lived. I was more than what I was doing. And that was huge. That was huge. He told me that I was much more than my anger and my fear and my great ability to run away from everything that hurt me. And it's just like when Luke is facing off with Vader at the end of Empire. Vader keeps telling him to embrace your fear, harness your anger. Be as angry as you can. Be as scared as you can, because that will help you fight better and better and better. And Vader, this power of the dark side, tells Luke this amazingly good force of light. He's telling Luke, harness this evil, harness this anger, because Vader knew that Luke hated him. Vader knew that Luke hated him, and he was playing into that. The dark side is quicker, it's easier, and it's more seductive. But it always leads to destruction. Yoda said that the evil will dominate your destiny, and it will consume you. Those are two huge words there. It will dominate your entire destiny, and it will consume you, this evil that you hold on to. But John has this different idea. In the book of John, that we talked about last week, that's going to be up here in a second. Mark. Sorry. Thanks, sir. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. He was in the beginning with God. All things came into being through him, and without him not one thing came into being. What has come into being in him was life, and the life was the light of all people. And this is the big part here. And this beautiful Christmas tree might be in the way here. But the light shines in the darkness, and the darkness did not overcome it. And that's the big thing, is that through all of my darkness, through all of that, the light still shone in there. And I was eventually able to find that crack of light under the doorway and crawl over to that light. And I want to encourage you guys to see what happens when you face these problems, when you face these angers and these fears head on. When you are at your lowest, when you have nothing else, you're completely lost. You're like, not getting along with my parents, homework's piling up, might be partying a little bit too much here, might be, maybe issues with like drugs or lust or whatever it is. When you're at your lowest, what do you cling to? It's very easy to cling to all of those things, the drug and the alcohol and the lust and the fear and the anger and all of these things. But what I want you guys to cling to is keep praying and keep finding Jesus, so that in your low times, in your sad times, in your dark times, the closest thing when you're on the ground, you're just begging for something good, that you know that Jesus is right there, and that's that close thing. And that we might be trying to shove square pegs into these rounded holes, and it's never going to work. Jesus is that thing that will fill up those holes. When we were at Fall Frenzy, right? Yeah, Fall Frenzy. Yeah. We were asked, what would it look like for you to relentlessly trust God? And that question has been rattling around in my empty head for a long time now. And then what does it look like for me to relentlessly trust God? And I think that means clinging. And I think that means that when times are hard, don't rely on me. I can't do it. But it's to rely on the peace and the hope and the trust of God. To face the issues and face these problems. To be honest with myself about these issues that I have. These issues with alcohol or with drugs or whatever it may be. Or with comparison or with sex or whatever it is. We all have our own deep, dark issues here. And for me, what that looks like, what I am going to do this week and hopefully forever, is that when times are really good, when times are really bad, both of those times, I want to pray. I want to pray, thank you. I want to be grateful. I want to have gratitude for all these things that I have and all these people, you guys, that I have in my life. I would ask for advice more often when I'm down, when I'm dark. I want help. I want to ask people for help. I want to be more honest with my feelings because I tend to suck them up. I bottle up all that shiz. The closer I was to Jesus, the easier it became for me to cling to the light. And that's the whole point of all of this, is that when you're down and you feel the need to cling to those vices, just remember that the closer you are to Jesus, the easier it becomes to cling on him. And I want to just challenge you guys to just try that out. Try it out just once. If you've never done that, next time you're like, man, shiz is rough, this is hard. Instead of turning to any of the normal things that you do, give it a shot. Try it out just once. Pray, ask for peace, ask for the ability to face these problems head on. And as Matt talked about last time, God doesn't want just part of you. He wants the whole thing. He wants the whole thing. And nothing that we will do will ever taint God. It's not possible. He can heal all those hurts and all those broken things. So I want you guys to think about one thing in your life that you think God doesn't want anything to do with at all. That one thing that you're like, all right, I'm going to, tell God about this thing, but, this thing over here, I'm going to kind of keep that to me because I think I would be pretty pissed if I was like, hey, this thing. I know my thing. And it could be big and it could be small. It can be anything. Fear, guilt, pornography, anything. So let's take a minute here and kind of, if you are ready, and I encourage you to just give that up. Pray to God. Tell Him about it. Explain it as honestly as you can and ask for help. Do not be scared. And then after about a minute, I'll pray us to close here. So, go. Jesus, we thank you so much for your fierce love. We pray that as we leave this place, we can just cling to you and to your hope and to your promise and to your love, and that on these dark times, we will cling to you. Lord, we know it is not as easy as just quit doing dumb things. That's why we need your help, God. We want to reach out to you. We want to confess these things to you, and all these things that were confessed just now, God, just empower us to break through these things, God. We need your help, and we love you so much. In your name we pray. Amen. All right, so now we're going to write down some scriptures per usual here. Matthew Stefan is going to pass out some of these scriptures, probably directly at your face. Like the water bottles? Like the water bottles. Yeah, exactly. Just like that. And then we're going to go play dodgeball.
I don't know if we can. There's stuff in the gym.
No, we got it.
Oh, nice. We can break it?
It's strategically placed outside of the dodgeball.
Nice. For those on the weekend.
I was hoping it was a silhouette.
It's aggressive orange.
Aggressive orange, I like that.
Aggressive orange.
Aggressive orange for you guys.
Matt, you found out my secret.
Extras, anyone need some?
I'm right here.
Hello, Grant.
Yeah, it's aggressive.
Yeah, that's very impressive.
It's like orange.
Dude, this stuff have like.
If your pin doesn't work, feel free to throw it back.
Oh, yeah.
Feel free to throw it back at Susanna. Cool. Alright, does everybody have a sticky note index card if they want one? And a writing utensil?
I got